let me start off by saying thank you. This last week, or 9 days at the point where I'm recording this, has been just crazy. I've had my YouTube channel since sometime in 2012, just uploaded things for fun, recordings with my friends and stuff like that. Then I went on to record Smite videos where they released new gods, and I did that for every single character up to a point, just because I wanted to have that just saved somewhere where I could go back and watch it, just a quick summary of every character in case I forgot. I've since removed a few of those videos. Let's just say they're not very good. Then, late 2015, I released my first Diablo video. When I released my first Diablo Lore video, I got around 1,000 views in a day, and that was huge. That was huge for me. But when that video hit 1,000 views, it just made me really excited to make more. So I made more. And in that first video, basically I wanted to get to Diablo 1 as quickly as possible, but I realized I had a lot of setup to take care of before that, which is why that first lore video was very short, because I wasn't too familiar with all the backstory in the Diablo universe at that point, so I tried to brush over everything as quickly as possible to just get into the stuff I actually knew, which is why the Sin War is barely mentioned in the video. I just threw out a huge oversimplification saying that the Nephilim lost all their power over time and now we move on, like I just skipped through the entire Sin War. And funnily enough, that is what my next video will be about. But that's not what I want to talk about in this video. I released the first video, I got a really nice response to it, and then I felt a responsibility to keep going. So I made a part 2 with Diablo 1. Once again, people were really nice about it. I released the next part covering Diablo 2 and people were even nicer. Probably because people have such a strong affection for Diablo 2. Then I just went on, and then when I was done with Reaper of Souls, I had a hard time finding the inspiration to do more videos. Not because of the reception. The reception was awesome. Everyone was so nice. I was unemployed at the time, wasn't really happy. And, you know, it can be hard at that point, you know, to find motivation and stuff. I kept playing games, but I didn't keep uploading YouTube videos because I couldn't find the, you know, the motivation to put in the effort. Now I've been working full-time for a year and a half, and every BlizzCon since I uploaded these videos, I've seen a little bump in views on the lore videos, which I thought was funny, but I didn't think much of it. And then last year, when Diablo Immortal happened, the entire Diablo community, you know, imploded. And boy, do I feel bad for the community managers and stuff like that for the Diablo team. Ooh boy, that's a rough position to be in. But when Diablo Immortal was announced, I again saw a little spike in my channel, and I mentioned it to a few friends, and we talked about it a bit, and from that point, the joke was, well, they're never gonna make a Diablo 4. This is the future of your favorite gaming franchise. So in the last few weeks leading up to BlizzCon of this year, the joke was always, oh damn, look at this new art they released of a barbarian that they're showing on the Battle.net launcher. And the punchline was always, yeah, they gotta make those sweet new models for that nice new Diablo Immortal cinematic they're gonna show you. In some ways, I think the Diablo Immortal thing also had something to do with me not finding the motivation to do more lore videos in a weird way. Because when they announced Diablo Immortal, they said it's taking place between Diablo 2 and 3 and it's gonna cover more story. And that really turned me off of the game. The fact that I have to go through a mobile game to find out more about the story in my favorite video game franchise is not appealing to me. And I think if the story in the game was actually just a port of Diablo 3, I think more people, just not me, just more people overall would be fine with it. The fact that they're presenting it as a new game and a new story is, well, it just further turned me off to going back and do more lore videos, in short. So, in the days leading up to BlizzCon, if I'm to look at my Social Blade page, I don't want to show like the dashboard or analytics stuff on my actual account because I don't know what the rules are about those things. So we're just gonna go by Social Blade. Now on Social Blade it says that I averaged 200 to 300 views a day. Social Blade doesn't display this very well, but I gained between 1 and 3 to 4 subscribers a day for 4 years since I uploaded the videos. Like, I slowly crawled my way up to 1 million views on the channel over 4 years. 3.5 years. From September 2015 to May 2019. And then, when BlizzCon hit, something happened. The algorithm blessed my channel in some weird way. Because I went from having 2 subs a day, basically, and 300 views, to going up 20 subscribers the first day, and then 40, 60, 90, 100, 130 to 10, and views going from 300-400 a day to 20 to 30,000 a day. If I open my dashboard on YouTube, it says, "Looking good, your channel's views are up by 4,578%. That's insane. And I know it's only because somehow the algorithm decided that people who watch the Diablo 4 cinematic should be recommended my lore videos, which is just based on complete randomness as far as I'm aware. The thing I want to thank you about, though, is that there's so many of you that have actually subscribed, stuck around for the 3 new videos I uploaded. You've left me some nice comments. Those have been very, very sweet. Some of you have been very, very sweet. Like, it feels nice to have a bad day at work, and then your phone vibrates, and you're like, what is it now? And then you see a comment that says, "I liked this video, thank you for making it," and it just lifts you up. It's a great feeling. And it's not like I have a problem with depression or anything, it's just that sometimes you feel down. And the last week, and yeah, almost a week and a half at this point, I've just been bombarded with lovely messages. And I just want to thank you. Thank you for taking the time to watch. Thank you for taking the time to comment. It means a lot, you know? As a viewer, I feel like we take for granted the impact we have on people, and when people talk about comment sections and stuff like that, it's always how you shouldn't look at comments, how you shouldn't read the comments, that it's all negative. And sure, there are negative comments. Everyone gets them. I think it's what you do with the comments as a whole that matters. I've gotten some mean comments, and that's fine. Like, people, they have a right to their own opinion. So far, though, the positive comments very much outweigh the negative ones. And that doesn't mean that my videos are great or perfect or whatever, it just means that you enjoyed what you saw. And that means a lot to me. So that's mainly why I wanted to make this video. It's been strange, you know? Going from being the guy who's like, yeah, I did a few lore videos once, they have a few thousand views, and they had a good reception, that's fun. That's a nice, like, thing to have in your back pocket. Like a nice thing you did once. But then in a week and 2 days, the YouTube dashboard says that all my things went up over 999%. Views, watch time, subscribers. It's weird, you know? It's humbling, really. At this point, I think I've gotten around 800 subscribers since BlizzCon started, and the funny thing about that is that when I started making these videos, I think I had around 400 subscribers when I uploaded the first Diablo Lore video. And since then, it's been a steady, although very slow, crawl upwards to where I was at 2,800 subscribers before BlizzCon, just about there. Now I'm at 3,700 at the time recording this. So, over 5 years, I basically gained 2,400 by not uploading anything, but just people finding my channel and hoping that something would pop up one day. Just that is a nice feeling on its own. People being like, yeah, I like these videos. He hasn't uploaded anything in 4 years, but I hope he does someday, so I'm gonna subscribe. That's cool. It's nice that people like have that optimism over such a strange thing as a YouTube channel, you know? And now I'm recording this on Sunday the 10th. So a week and 2 days after BlizzCon, I have had over 800 new people subscribing to the channel. Just in that time, in 9 days, I had 800 people. That's huge. Might not sound like a lot of people to most, but it's huge. Do I think it will keep going at this rate? No, I don't. I got lucky because the Diablo 4 announcement showed up. But at that point, I felt motivated because people showed up and they were, again, really nice about this. And I mean, yeah, I had a few negative comments, like I said, but most people were nice. And at that point you feel like, yeah, I'll put something together. Sure, I can talk about a few more things. I can do more stuff. because there's actually people who care and want to see more things. So that's why I've been uploading more regularly. And I'm thinking of uploading Monday, Wednesday, Fridays. Because I'm still working full time, you know. And on weekends I will do research and video editing for future lore videos. Because then I'll have actual time to sit down and do some real research and writing. Now, does that mean that lore videos will come out once every week? I hope so, but I don't want to promise that. Because I have in the past, and I failed. Spectacularly. But if I don't do it now, then when will I? Because at this point, so many new people have shown up, so many of you have been really nice to me, and why wouldn't I sit down and write the next Diablo Lore video? Which is gonna be about the Sin War, and Lilith, and Odyssean. You know, all that stuff that I had a very limited knowledge of when I wrote the first part of my lore series. That's the next thing I'm gonna tackle. I've been doing research this weekend. I've been writing a few things. I will probably finish writing it next weekend and then release it the week after, is my goal. So the goal is to release it the week of the 18th of November. That's my goal for my first lore video coming back. Might be earlier, because Pokemon and Star Wars Fallen Order comes out on the 15th, you know, so... In some ways, I really want to just sit down that entire weekend and write. In some ways, I just want to dive deep into the 2 games I've been waiting for the entire year. So, you know, it's a hard choice to make. But sometimes you have to, you know, not be selfish and just do something for other people. I'll find time. I'll find time to do both, I'm sure. But yeah, that's mainly it. I just wanted to throw out a huge thank you to everyone who's been so nice, you know. And while we're here, I might as well just, you know, address some comments, you know, from the videos that people seem to keep asking me. So that when they ask me in the future, I can just timestamp them to this video. And they will have their answer in front of them. So the first thing is this comment on my Diablo Lore Part 1. This comment came at a perfect moment for me because I was at work. I was having a bad day. I was really annoyed because I was trying to fix a computer thing, and I was just really frustrated because I had been trying to fix this thing for 3 or 4 hours at that point. And then my phone vibrates and I get this message and I just break out laughing because that situation couldn't have been more frustrating than it already was. And then that came piled on and I just broke down laughing. And that's why I pinned that comment, because every time I look at it, I laugh because I think it's funny. So I don't want anyone to think I want people to go after this guy, because he's obviously allowed to have his opinion on my video. And I need this comment to laugh. I need to have this comment in my life to go back and look at it whenever I need to laugh. Also from the first Diablo Lore video, I, like I said before, intentionally left out a lot about the Sin War and Odyssean. The reason being I was not very well informed on the entire story. I just wanted to get to Diablo 1 as quickly as possible because that's a story I know. And I was a kid when I made these videos, basically. So I just wanted to fast track to a point where I could put together a video I could be proud of that didn't require too much research because I was so burnt out from school at that point. In the Diablo Lore Part 2, a question I see a lot is, why don't you just say the identity of the warrior at the end of the game? Why don't you just say flat out who the warrior is? 2 reasons. People who watch that video, if they watch it for pure Diablo 1 lore, they're not gonna want retconned Diablo 3 lore in there. There is some in that video, sure, but I feel like that part is huge. Like, that's a huge retcon. And I didn't want to put it in there for the people who just want the story of Diablo 1. The second reason is that for people who never played any of these games, because a lot of people who watched these were people who wanted to start playing Diablo 3 and had never played the older ones. I didn't want to spoil it, because if you know that who he is, and you go into Diablo 3, you can figure out the entire story. I mean, you basically can anyway, but that's a huge, huge thing. And if you don't know about it, you at least get some kind of twist payoff thing at the end. That's why I didn't want to cover that in the Diablo 1 video. But most comments are about, well, here's who the hero is. I'm like, yes, I know. I'm glad you know too. That means you are interested in Diablo lore and you know things about the story, which is cool. So I'm glad you know. There's a reason why I left it out though. Just want to make that clear. The Diablo 2 lore video, I get asked again why I don't straight up say who the Wanderer is, his name and his place before everything happened, and same reason as from the other video. I also get questions about Natalia in that game because I called her a demon hunter, and that's because when she leaves, she's an assassin in Diablo 2, and when she leaves, she goes to start the demon hunter order. So she's one of the first demon hunters, if I'm not completely mistaken. And that's why there's an armor set in Diablo 3 named after her. Another question from Diablo 2 that I get is, what does the scrolling text say at 750 in the video? And it says they look so much alike because in the games, Andariel and Duriel are somehow twins, but they look nothing like each other. So I just felt I had to put that text in there, because of course they're twins, they look so much alike. Another funny comment on the Diablo 2 video I got recently was this. Marius was supposed to rush to the portal passing Diablo, Baal, and Mephisto, go all the way to the Hellforge in the River of Flame, kill Hephasto to grab the Hellforge hammer, then destroy the Soulstone? Tyrell had really high hopes in humanity delivering this quest to Marius. And I think that's a great comment, because yes, that is basically what Tyrell expected him to do. And when you put it like that, it does sound silly. But I mean, come on. If Marius isn't the hero we all deserve, then I don't know who is. And on the Diablo 3 video, this is a big one. I've gotten a lot of comments telling me, oh, this is the actual name of that Nephilim. The female crusader is named Johanna. Like, stuff like that. And yes, we know that now, but that was not a thing when I made that video. Heroes of the Storm did not have those characters at that point. And they weren't named, which is why I just called them the Nephilim. And I also said, I basically indicated that I was happy that they killed off Leah in the story of that game. And it's true that I'm not a fan of that character, just because she seems weirdly naive to everything. Like, she doesn't believe in demons, but skeletons are just normal things walking around. Okay? I guess they make a distinction between demons and skeletons, but it's still weird. If they have skeletons walking around, why would she refuse to believe in demons? It just makes no sense to me. And anyway, I made it, I guess, a bit obvious that I was glad her arc ended in that game when I was telling the story, and I do regret putting that in the video, like during the actual lore stuff. I should have put that at the end if that was the case, to just not make the storytelling biased to that. And that's completely my fault, and I wish I could change it. But here we are. And Kane's death still pisses me off. And in the Diablo 3 Reaper of Souls video, I got this wonderful comment that decided to name me Deckard Crane. I've actually had a few characters in a few different games named that after that comment, because I found it really funny, so thank you for that. And this is what I'm talking about, like, some people who just watch the videos and then leave a nice, funny comment, and it just sticks with you. Like, that comment is from 3 years ago, and I still remember it. And like I said in my pinned comment on that video, and now we wait for the mobile sequel prequel that we will play on our phones by our desk, because they will require constant charging for you to keep playing more than 10 minutes. And I stand by that statement. So why is it just not on the computer? What a time to be alive. Now we look forward to Diablo 4. This is definitely the weirdest timeline. So thank you for listening to me ramble for way too long. Hopefully clearing up a few things about the videos. And more videos coming up. Even some lore, if you're lucky. We will go from doing the Sin War to probably Warcraft. I understand that might turn some people off because you're probably here for Diablo. I will keep talking about Diablo whenever there's anything relevant to talk about. But I want to cover more franchises with lore videos. But I will never stop covering Diablo. I will even cover Immortal when it comes out. But the main idea behind the lore videos was never to be in-depth, really long storybooks, which I guess is what I kind of crossed into on Diablo 2 and Diablo 3, like on those videos. And that will probably happen again. If the source material requires thorough coverage, I will. But I want these videos to be able to be an introduction to people to catch up on a franchise they might want to get into. Because if you want to get into WoW, there's a lot of things you need to catch up on. You could just jump in and not care, and that's fine, but I want the option to be there for people to do a recap. They could sit down and just watch the lore videos, and then they would know the important things about what is going on in the game. And that's what I want to do, and I'll start doing this with Blizzard games, and then I will most likely branch out into different things. For example, something I want to talk about is the Inquisitor that's shown in the Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order trailer. Because I don't think there's many, layman Star Wars fans that know what the Inquisitors are. That's a fairly new thing, and they've only shown up in Rebels and a few comics, So that's kind of the thing I want to do with the channel. Because now I feel motivated again. And not because there's suddenly so many people watching, but because people are genuinely nice. Like the positivity feeds creativity. And sometimes even negativity feeds into the machine as well. Because if I put out a horrible video and people call you on it, hopefully it motivates you to do better in the future. Anyway, at this point, I'm basically just rambling. If you're watching this on the 11th, which is when I hope this will come out, it will be my 25th birthday. And I just want to say that the reception the last week has been the greatest gift I could have gotten. Because I feel happier than I've been in a long time. And that's thanks to all of you. So thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.
You think me mad, old friend, but I know these dreams. They tell of the future. Hell is coming, brother. Hell is coming.